This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Strong opening. Thank you, Patricia. Welcome to DBL. It's Tuesday, November 17th. I am Tori here with the lovely Lindsay and Brandon. Good to see you both.
What's going on?
Not much. I'm just glad to see your faces. It is a joy.
I know, even though we split apart.
So close and yet so far.
Are we really serious today? Because you just called our producer, Patty, Patricia by her government name.
She calls me Victoria.
Okay.
Interesting. Good talk. Okay. All right, let's get right to it because the transition tensions between President Trump and President-elect Biden are heating up. So after Biden warned yesterday that more people may die if the two administrations fail to coordinate their coronavirus response, take a look.
More people may die if we don't coordinate. If we have to wait until January 20th to start that planning, it puts us behind over a month, month and a half. It would make it a lot easier if the president were to participate, but I find this more embarrassing for the country than debilitating for my ability to get started.
So the question is, does Biden have a point that failing to coordinate will result in actually more deaths, or is this fear-mongering trying to pressure and shame President Trump? Thoughts?
I mean, I think saying people are going to die in a time where people are really struggling right now is a little bit of fear-mongering. However, I do think that 2/3 of the Georgia vote is counted, and so therefore it is what it is. Kamala and Joe Biden are going to be the next people in charge. I just think that President Trump needs to hand over power in the same way that Bush did with Obama, in the same way that Obama did with President Trump, because not only does it make us look good as a country to other countries, it's actually just people need to be informed about foreign policies and moving forward. And yes, it can be done in December and January, and the plan is largely put in place for COVID based on what Trump and Pence have in place. And so there's not going to be major changes if Biden comes in and does anything specific. But I think that he needs to know, and we need to look good to other countries to not be seen as a joke mostly.
I disagree with you on the fear-mongering thing. I want to hear your take, Brandon.
I think it is fear-mongering. And, you know, you usually...
So I got two of you to go against.
But you usually hear that on the conservative side. So that's why it's come to some sort of shock to me to hear Joe Biden come out with this. Because you've already put together, or you've already begun to put together a task force. Now, I understand you may not know the ins and outs and the details of the everyday meetings that the current administration's task force is going with and doing right now. But you're putting together some sort of plan. As soon as we get this election thing thrown out of here, which I'm hoping it was, you know, we can get this done after this show, hopefully, then I think that Joe Biden, if you look at this, look what you're about to inherit. This could work for him. We could be talking about summertime next year. We can be calling him the one who got us out of this corona thing, because we got people that are going to die today regardless. And I'm not trying to say that, you know, that people are going to die from this virus regardless, but we got two promising vaccines coming out, and you have the ability to come in with your task force. This could help him.
Okay, I disagree with both of you, but let me comments agree with you. Just so you know, we got some comments coming in already. Mainlining the Truth, nice name from Twitter, says, this is unnecessary fear-mongering. Adnil says President Trump not providing access is not causing death. Labs are still doing their work, much to Brandon's say. This is Biden putting blame on the president. Betty says the president is being petty, and Biden is right. This will end up costing lives. But is anyone surprised that Trump's ego is standing in the way? We can all move on from that. A lot of people agree with you. I just want to bring up the fact that in the 9/11 Commission, this was reported, September 11th, 2011. This is what they said. The 36-day delay cut in half the normal transition period between, remember, they couldn't get Bush and Gore ready for the 2000s. They had to go to the Supreme Court. Given that a presidential election in the United States brings wholesale change in personnel, this loss of time hampered the new administration in identifying, recruiting, clearing, and obtaining Senate confirmation of key appointees. They go on to say it could have perhaps prevented the 9/11 attack. Details matter, and I think not knowing those details makes you not be able to build a plan. I hear you guys.
But I think that's something completely different. We're talking about terrorism, and we're talking about
that's because they didn't have the
virus.
But it's the same kind of thing. The virus is in some way terroristic, meaning that it's taken over, and unless you know the details of everything, things can get missed.
But Tori,
this is the 9/11 Commission saying that.
But we didn't go through a lockdown pre-9/11. We had to go through a lockdown because of this virus. So Joe Biden coming in, I think that's something completely different.
I disagree, but I hear you what you're saying. They're not the same. I just think details
at the end of his statement in that soundbite that we played, Joe Biden did say, I'm still going to be able to do my job, but I would love if the president meets me halfway, basically. And so I think that's what Brandon's saying, is that you're still going to move forward with your task force, and Pence and Trump are still going to move forward in the way that they're going to lead through January.
But that's all I'm saying, is that leaves holes. Right? When you don't get a full, normal transition, it leaves holes. Okay. And holes can be dangerous. All right. Yeah. Nice job, everybody. All right. A lot of people are wondering now that 2 potential vaccines have been proven to be highly effective. Who's getting them? Am I right? According to the CDC, they've identified 4 groups that get top priority. First, the healthcare workers, bravo, like doctors, nurses, and lab technicians. Next, the essential workers, people on the front lines who can't work from home. Third are people with underlying medical conditions, of course. And finally, older adults, people over the age of 65 who have the greatest risk of complications. But we have a question. Will the rich jump the line and get access before ordinary Americans. And I had a long talk about this with my dad and trying to figure out what happens, and he brought up something, and I want to ask you, would the NFL get it like before all of us? Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
Could the whole NBA get this vaccine? And in that way, the rich are jumping the line. What do you think about that?
If we're going to bring it to the sports world, I don't think so, because you don't want these top tier athletes, your money maker, to be a guinea pig on this. Because remember, yes,
they were a guinea pig by sitting in a bubble for months. They were a guinea pig when they got tested before entering the bubble.
Yeah, but
in the NFL, there's still people that are still getting COVID and still playing.
But Lindsay, no one injected anything in them.
It is 90% and higher effective.
Yeah, but yes, because I've invested in both Moderna and Pfizer, so I'm watching my Robinhood app, watching those stocks boom. But yes, I don't want people to fall into that lull of thinking, oh, it's 90% effective. But it's also, remember, they haven't tested on people with pre-existing conditions, underlying conditions. They haven't tested on the elderly yet. So, yes, it may be 90%.
I'm saying after they tested through everyone, will the NFL be able to reach over and just say, you know what, we'll get some
When
too.
we had no tests, the NFL reached over.
That's what I'm saying.
So what's the difference? Of course rich people are going to do it, but I think the question is, do rich people want to do it? Are people going to be guinea pigs in the beginning? And not that our system should be completely set up so that only rich people win.
Of course.
But I really do hope that it gets into the hands of those healthcare workers and everybody else that really needs it so that they can save lives in the meantime. And people like us, I think that we're all pretty healthy right here, will stay and wear our masks. And as we've been shown over time, masks are even more effective than we thought they were. So just stay safe, stay inside, relax, just until mid-year next year, and just calm down.
There's more Netflix, everyone out there.
Right, lots of good movies.
There really is. I totally agree with you. Before we go to break, we've got some heartwarming video to share you. 4 astronauts arrived at the International Space Station last night. They were greeted with big hugs and smiles after their 27-hour trip from Florida. 3 American astronauts and 1 Japanese astronaut made the journey. This is what I want the world to be like, right? Check out who else joined the crew aboard the ISS. That is little baby Yoda. That tagged along.
What?
For the mission.
So, 27 hours on a rocket ship. I mean, you can't have your iPod or your iPad or your phone to watch Netflix.
No, you're in 7G. You're like,
you gotta have conversations
for 27 hours.
No, right as you're leaving the atmosphere. Excuse me.
Like, what do you do that entire 27 hours?
Apparently, most people throw up. I've done a lot of, but yeah, well, the jolt is very hard. But after that, once you get in past the atmosphere, you float, and there's a lot. It's relaxing.
Listen, I just think that Yoda is cool because I like when people take travel pictures and put their stuffed animal wherever. But imagine if you're in space. That's like the ultimate travel picture.
One of those you should be here.
Right.
Yeah, right. Do you guys think it's weird to see people hug? Because it's like
I'm sure
hug.
they're pretty safe, right?
No, but it's weird just to see a visual of hugging.
Right, because now it's like this awkward, like, when you see people, you're like, hey.
You two have spouses, you hug all the time. Like, it's normal for y'all. If you see me hug somebody, that's a little
normal. My God, let me get the violin.
Coming up on DBL, former One Direction singer Harry Styles is the latest Vogue cover model, and he's donning a dress. DBL Nation, you have a lot to say, and we're sharing your comments. And the man Taylor Swift labeled a bully makes a new move in their ongoing feud. Why Taylor isn't so happy about it. Coming up next.
Projected White House winners Joe Biden and Kamala Harris continue to meet with their transition team, and one of the roles that will have to be filled will be Senator Harris's seat in the Senate. A viewer asked us in an email, does projected Vice President-elect Kamala Harris still receive salary as a senator? Let's verify. Our sources for this are Gary Nordlinger, a political scientist from George Washington University, and the 17th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. This was a simple one for Professor Nordlinger. Yes, she does, and so did
the other senators that were running for president. Missed more than half the votes in the Senate while they were campaigning, but they still got a full-blown salary.
She will stop receiving the pay when she resigns the seat. And when does the vice president pay kick in?
On noon of January 20th, when she becomes a vice president.
So yes, Senator Harris will receive Senate pay until she resigns, and then will get vice president's pay starting on Inauguration Day. And to take it a step further, who will fill Kamala Harris's Senate seat? According to the 17th Amendment, that person will be chosen by the governor of the state of California. With your Verify, I'm Matt Gregory.
Welcome back to DBL. The drama between Taylor Swift and record executive Scooter Braun continues. It all started last year when Scooter bought her old music label and the rights to most of her songs. Scooter has now sold them in a deal worth more than $300 million. Taylor explained it all on Twitter, saying she approached Scooter about buying back her music, but realized he'd still profit from her songs. She was also asked to sign an agreement stating she would never say anything bad about Scooter. So Taylor walked away and will now re-record her past 6 albums. I'm a T-Swift fan. I've always been since 2006. Tim McGraw with her and an acoustic guitar and a Heartbreak. I love this. Prince did it. She owns her master records. She gets to make the money. She's been someone who pushed for this forever. What do you think, Linz? Oh, Brandon, go ahead.
When you say he owns the masters, she owns the publishing. So
right, okay.
What that means who owns the recorded music versus the published music. So if we have a Tori Showman commercial and you want to use Shake It Off, you reach out to Scooter Braun because he owns the masters, but you reach out to Taylor Swift as well to be able to use that song because the new one, because now that she can redo her songs,
right.
Now you can use the new Shake It Off and not the old Shake It Off. So I see it. My mom used to say, "Hell hath no scorn." What?
Hell hath no fury like a woman
scorn.
I think William Shakespeare also said that.
Sorry, Mom. Sorry.
No, it's really
Your mom is a genius.
Just like a Shakespeare genius. What do you think, Linz?
I appreciate what she's doing, and I think it should be a lesson to everybody coming behind her to be smarter in these contracts that you sign. You brought up 2006 when she came out and when she was really young.
She was like 14.
Right, she was
15.
super excited, so she was obviously a predator. I mean, people were preying on her in the system of music, which a lot of people go through that experience. But out of all the artists that have talked about this over the last 20 years, from Prince on, please learn your lesson and stop thinking that you can beat the system by signing this stupid contract and then manage to talk your way out of it.
But how are you going to say that to a struggling artist that I want to get off my block or I want to get out to the mainstream and I have the ability to partner up with the Columbia Records or Rock Nation, and the deal might not be in that artist's favor? You're still going to want to join those type of companies because you want to be put out there.
I understand that, but and maybe because I'm a little bit older, but whenever I create content right now for my company, I'm never selling it. I'm licensing it all the time because I will own it. And that's something that I learned over time. So all I'm telling is younger people that are smart, even better with YouTube, creating even cooler stuff with more views, please don't give it away. Make people license it and own everything that you create.
It's really interesting, like Macklemore, I know that's not like cool to bring up, but he started his own label because Jimmy Iovine didn't know his name, and he's like, then I'll do it myself, and he did.
And people at home, you just got LG Productions tips for free.
Bravo.
I'm just saying, you gotta be a little bit smarter now.
Young Oprah.
And you know what, Taylor Swift, from being so young, she's taught us a lot, the younger generation, about how to play this game. All right, coming up on DBL, we gotta get talking about this. Singer Harry Styles is getting in touch with his feminine side in the new cover of Vogue, and DBL Nation is divided, so we're gonna share your comments. It's gonna get heated. Coming up next. Welcome back to DBL. Harry Styles is making headlines and a bold fashion statement. He's the first solo male to be featured on the cover of Vogue. Mazel tov, congratulations. But it's the fact that he's wearing a dress that has the internet on fire. So conservative commentator Candace Owens, you might have heard of her. She tends to make a name for herself, is slamming the look, saying the world needs, quote, manly men to survive. But celebrities including Zach Braff, Kathy Griffin, Olivia Wilde, they're all clapping back, defending Harry's fashion choice. So DBL Nation, do you have an issue with men wearing women's clothing? All right, I'm going to read the comments to Lindsay and Brandon. You guys know how it works. Marla from Facebook says it's one thing to be transgender or even gay. Why must men who claim to be straight be okay with wearing women's clothes? Brandon, you want to take this one?
Yeah, because I'm in the predicament right now where I do not think that masculinity should ever be defined by an image. You could put The Rock in a dress, and I will think that that image, I would not think that that is a manly image. Now, a man to me, and can we get this? A man to me takes care of his family, takes care of his community, takes care of his business. So if you're one of those men out there that's like, no, that's gay, and you owe back on child support and you're not taking care of those kids, no, you're not a man. So I don't think that we should try and use some sort of image to try and define what's manly and what's not. Because I can still respect that person in the dress, have a drink with them, do business with them, but I don't have to accept the fact that that is a manly image if that's a man in the dress.
Well, how old are you?
I'm 36.
So we have viewers who are much older than you that do have a problem, and they do have a problem speaking. And I'm just saying, as you as a millennial Gen Xer, that might be the reason that this is a real generational gap, I think, here. Lindsay, this also comes from someone who doesn't like it. Dee from Facebook says, waking up to my husband in a dress would be my worst nightmare.
What y'all do last night?
I would not like to see my boyfriend in a dress either.
Colin
just
would
because
look great.
of a particular style that I don't personally enjoy for him. But all I'm saying is that clothing does not have a gender. I do think to see a white cisgender male on the cover of Vogue and be the first image of a thing that was largely founded by transgender women of color, and that's who you choose to put on your cover, is kind of missing the whole community. So forget what Candace Owens said. You guys left out an entire community that literally should be celebrated on your cover. So if you want to do it right, maybe reach out to somebody over there. That's actually a conversation that we should have. But other than that, I appreciate Harry Styles because he does celebrate LGBTQ plus community, and he does say that he is, sexually fluid and doesn't really describe exactly how he labels himself. And I appreciate that. But I think that people need to understand they need to respect the community that they're taking the aesthetics from.
Yes, and I agree that you said, first off, that clothes don't have gender. Second off, let's talk Vogue for just a hot second. They have a real issue with people of color. Anna Wintour suddenly become woke, and it's a little strange because she wasn't woke for a long, long time. There was very few black photographers, people behind the scenes making decisions. So let's call that out on the show very clearly. You're absolutely right. Those in the fluid transitional dress type started in the people of color in the transgender community, and that's important to bring up.
But I can't, there is gender in clothing. A dress is feminine. Like,
because we say so, just like pink is for
no,
girls because we say that.
But there's a
we
reason,
made that up.
But there's a reason why M to F transgender men wear female clothing
because
to be the woman.
Because
and
societal norms have already said that that's what it is.
But even drag, why would a man who wears drag dress up in women's
because
garments?
That's the societal norms. To dress like a woman in these days, you dress with a dress. That's what Lindsay's saying is there is no historical balance. Men wear skirts a long time ago. Kilts, right.
But this isn't Gaelic times. We're not in Scotland.
We're in 2020.
I can't believe Brandon's arguing this down to the death. I appreciate that.
We're not in Gaelic times is my favorite comeback from Brandon. We'll be right back, ending on that beautiful note. Thank you.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Our sources for this are the CDC and the results of the Moderna vaccine trials. According to the CDC, the efficacy of a vaccine is a measure of the reduction of disease in a group that has been vaccinated in a clinical trial. So in phase 3 of Moderna's clinical trial, 30,000 people took part. Half got the vaccine, half did not. Of those 30,000 people, 95 got COVID-19, and of the people who got the virus, 90 received the placebo. The other 5 received the vaccine, making the vaccine 94.5% effective. So far, this fits the FDA's emergency standard. In June, the FDA wanted a vaccine to reduce or prevent COVID in 50% or more of people who got the vaccination. But it's important to note this is the efficacy in a controlled small group. There is no guarantee that everyone in the study was even exposed to the virus. A vaccine's real test of effectiveness in the long run is tested in the general population. Do you have something you'd like verified? Email us at verify@WUSA9.com.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for some sweet, sweet deals. Earlier, Steph showed me some amazing products at even better prices. Remember, Hanukkah, Christmas, they're all coming up. Here's today's DBL. Kwanzaa, that's true. Today's DBL Deal Blast presented by MorningSave.com. what do you have for us today, Stephanie?
This is the TG 10-piece professional makeup brush set. It comes with this carrying case that you can roll up for storage or organization, and you can fit it around your waist like a pro.
Like a pro.
For all your tools, and it comes in black or silver. Now, normally this kit is $125, right? But we've got it for $25, which means our viewers save 80%. This is the Miko foot massager with dynamic heat and acupressure technology. So it's lightweight, it's compact, and it gives you the healing benefits of an authentic shiatsu massage. So normally this is $150. We've got it, are you ready?
Yeah.
For $69.
All right.
So that saves 74%. Okay, next, we have got these iFrog Sound Hub plugs earbuds. So they give you really clear, full-bodied sound while they connect to your phone via Bluetooth. So normally these are $30, but we've got them for $12.
$12?
I know, which means Daily Blast Live viewers are gonna save 60%.
Whoa.
Lastly, Tori, this is the 2-pack Luminara Real Flame Effect LED window candle.
Yes.
So you can put them on your dining table, on your bedside, anywhere that you want to have a soft, warm glow. Normally these are $80.
I see.
We've got them for $29. Which means you're saving 64%.
You head on over to morningsave.com to snag these really amazing deals at the lowest prices. You can even visit morningsave.com just on your smartphone. Thank you so much, Steph. All right, well, we got some comments coming in. Adriana from Facebook. So you don't think rich or sports teams should be guinea pigs, but it's okay for our frontline health workers and first responders to be guinea pigs. Very clearly, no one will be a guinea pig. These will be FDA-approved vaccines. I want to make that very clear. By the time it gets to us, there will have been many, many, many studies. Just want to make that clear. DBL's new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow.